A life-changing lesson from the Zen Master and the shoe. In a small village nestled at the foot of a lush green mountain range, there was an ancient temple where villagers often sought peace of mind. One day, the entire village was abuzz with excitement as news spread that Master Ten Men, a renowned Zen master known for his profound wisdom and boundless compassion, would visit and give a teaching. Everyone eagerly awaited the chance to hear words of truth from a master whose name was revered far and wide. That morning, the sky was clear, and soft sunlight bathed the thatched rooftops. From the elderly to the young, the villagers gathered at the temple courtyard, their faces lit with anticipation and reverence. When the Zen master appeared, dressed in a simple brown robe, he exuded an air of tranquility and grace. His face bore a serene expression, and his eyes radiated clarity, as though they could see through the deepest parts of one's soul. He sat down in the center of the courtyard, where chairs had been arranged for everyone. Without any elaborate ceremony, the master began his teaching, his voice calm and warm, like a gentle stream flowing through a parched desert. Our lives, he began, are not about chasing grand achievements. Life is a series of small moments, a collection of simple acts into which we pour our attention and care. If we cannot be mindful of the small things, how can we ever grasp the meaning of life? His words were like a cool breeze, refreshing everyone present. The villagers sat silently, fully absorbed in his teaching. The Zen master shared stories and lessons about finding joy and meaning in everyday life, in even the simplest of actions. He explained that happiness was not a distant treasure to be sought, but something present in every breath, every glance, every step. His words were captivating, and no one wanted to miss even a syllable. By the time the teaching concluded, the sun had begun its descent, painting the sky with hues of gold and orange. The Zen master stood, bowed to the crowd, and thanked them for their warm welcome. The villagers slowly gathered around to bid him farewell, reluctant to see him go. The master descended the temple steps to leave, but suddenly, one of his shoes slipped off his foot and fell onto the stone steps. The villagers, watching nearby, saw this happen. Some exchanged quiet murmurs, thinking it was a trivial matter. But instead of continuing on his way, the Zen master paused. He bent down, picked up the shoe, gently brushed off the dust, and carefully placed it back on his foot. He did all this with a calm, deliberate manner, showing no haste. One of his younger disciples, who had been following him closely, witnessed the scene. The young man couldn't help but feel puzzled. Why would his wise teacher, a person of such high standing, care about something as insignificant as a fallen shoe? When they returned to their lodging for the evening, the disciple, unable to contain his curiosity, asked, "Master, why did you stop to pick up your shoe? It's such a small thing, hardly worth your attention. Someone else could have done it for you." The Zen master did not answer immediately. He sat down, his gaze soft yet penetrating, and then replied gently, "Do you know, my dear student, that it is the small things that form the foundation of all that is great? If we cannot pay attention to something as simple as a fallen shoe, how can we pay attention to the greater matters of life? And if we do not live fully in each moment, how can we live a complete and meaningful life?" He paused for a moment, letting his words sink in, and then continued, "That fallen shoe, to you, may seem inconsequential, but had I not picked it up, someone else could have tripped over it and fallen. A small act of mindfulness on my part could prevent unnecessary inconvenience or harm to another. More importantly, when I stopped to pick up the shoe, I was fully present in that moment. My mind wasn't wandering elsewhere. I was living fully in the here and now. That, my student, is the essence of mindfulness. The young disciple sat in silence, the master's words echoing in his mind like a bell ringing through a quiet valley. He realized that even the smallest actions in life were imbued with meaning when done with attention and care. The Zen Master's simple act of picking up a shoe had taught him more about mindfulness than any lecture could. The story of the Zen Master and the shoe quickly spread throughout the village. Each person interpreted the story in their own way. An elderly woman who sold vegetables at the market said, "It turns out that even tying a sack of produce tightly is an act of mindfulness. I always thought it was just a chore. But now I see that every little thing we do matters." The village carpenter, who often rushed his work and made mistakes, reflected, "I've been overlooking the small details, thinking they don't matter. But now I understand that perfecting even the tiniest details is a way to honor my craft." The story also reached a young father in the village, who often became so absorbed in his work that he forgot to spend time with his family. He told his wife, "From now on, I'll make time to play with our son and tell him stories." These small moments might be the most precious part of life. The Zen Master's shoe, a seemingly mundane object, became a symbol of a profound truth that happiness is not found in grand gestures or distant dreams, but in the small, ordinary moments that make up our days. The act of paying attention, of being fully present in every action, no matter how simple, is the key to a meaningful life. If, one day, you come across a fallen shoe in your own life, do not hesitate to pick it up. Do not dismiss the small tasks or moments as unimportant, for it is through these seemingly trivial acts that true peace and happiness are found. The Zen Master's shoe may have been just an object, but the lesson it carried is timeless and invaluable.